Good afternoon. I'm Matt Valentine, a senior taking senior project BCT 400 summer 2017. Today I'm going to go over for the presentation one my BOE for the quantity takeoff and estimate and basis of estimate that was submitted. Um, Firstly, I have the total price for the governmental building right here and also the library. I have um, my purpose right here that's talking about what exactly the project is and where it is located. The project scope description talking about the main specific parts of the scope like concrete, structural framing, millwork, wiring, plumbing, and so forth. Methodology, I talked about where I got my pricing for all my activities, which of course I used RS Means, and also some subquotes for some different scopes of the work. Also have my cost breakdown structure here, and for work breakdown structure, I broke it down in CSI codes, and I broke it down for the item list for each division. I broke it down into existing conditions, concrete, masonry, metals, wood, plastic, and composites, thermal and moisture protection, openings, finishes, equipment, conveying equipment, plumbing, HVAC, electrical, electronic safety and security, and exterior improvements. And this covers the quantity of each individual activity, the unit that it was called for in RS Means, material cost, labor cost, equipment cost, total direct cost, and crew. That's what the size of the crew that that RS Means calls for to perform the selected activity. So that is my cost breakdown, and also I have let's see here, a price breakdown as well. For it's the same, it's laid out the exact same way as the cost breakdown. You have an items list here of all your items that are required to be performed to complete the job, and I have a quantity for each item or each activity. You have the units that it was called for in RS Means. You have direct cost, and then for the also that's something that's added for the price breakdown structure is job overhead and business overhead and total price. So I have all of that listed in my BOE as well. Of course, I have the bottom dollar amount highlighted here, so it's very visible to see. And then also I have general conditions. Now the general conditions it explains the required personnel and materials that are needed to complete the project. So you have a project superintendent, which he will be in charge of overseeing the entire project as a whole, making sure everything is running smoothly out in the field. And then you have a project manager. He will be in charge of oversight of the office for the overall project. He will be making sure everything is running smoothly as far as like revised shop drawings, signing off on payment applications, and so forth. And then you have an area superintendent for the building. Now he will be in charge, or he or she will be in charge of making sure the building is being built on schedule and making sure everything is running smoothly, and attacking any problems that come forward. And then you also have an area superintendent for just site. Now the area superintendent for the site, he will be in charge, or he or she will be in charge of making sure that the job site doesn't have any obstruction in the way for as far as like deliveries of material, lay down of material, access to or in the job site and out of the job site, making sure everything is barricaded off, fencing and everything else as far as trying to keep the general population out of the job site and making sure there's no obstruction from the job site into the general public. So, and then of course you're also going to have operators for equipment that's going to be required, as far as like forklifts, bulldozers, track hoes if necessary. And you're definitely going to need a job trailer for something, for a job this big. So you're going to need a job trailer for site personnel, temporary power for the job trailer, of course, office supplies, computers, printers, fax machines, all that good stuff. And you're also going to have a quality control engineer. Now, the quality control engineer, he will be in charge of all inspections of each activity being performed, making sure that the activities are being performed and completed per the specification. So he or she will be performing initial inspections, final inspections, signing off on everything that is being performed to make sure there are no issues later on down the road. And then this is very important, a safety manager. A safety manager is going to be on site at all times to make sure everyone is performing their specified activity in the most safely manner possible, to make sure that there are no risk of injury or even possible death. That the safety manager is a very important role. So he or she will be in and out of the job trailer a lot. Whenever they're in, they're documenting what they're seeing out in the field, but also when they're out in the field, observing a lot. So, and then of course a building permit that was specified in the project manual is required, so that is also listed in the general conditions as well. And then you have a cost basis. This just talks about more about how the national average out of RS Means was taken for developing a cost basis, as well as receiving quotes from vendors for HVAC, millwork, roofing, and elevator systems. This was a Class 1 detailed estimate because of each specific scope of work. The design basis was the architectural drawings that were given to us and the specifications as well, which was used for a quantity takeoff. Assumptions for this project was acceptable site work. There wasn't going to need to be a lot of work done to the site to get it prepared for actual work. That was an assumption. Salary paid compensation for employees, and except for, of course, craft and laborers, they will be paid hourly. Allowances will be made for soil testing. Let's see, and also as far as taxes for Hancock County, which the project is being performed. So, and then also lastly, exclusions. Any dirt work or site preparation that should be addressed, as I mentioned earlier, that if we go in there and see that the site is not acceptable from the beginning, and there's going to need to be some work done to the dirt, to the foundations, to prepare it for construction, then that will be addressed. And also performance and payment bonds, as well as surety bonds, hazardous chemicals, anything that's underground or that cannot be seen, pre-existing structures, anything that can't be seen that could possibly be ran into later on down the road. So that was included in the exclusions. So anyway, that is my basis of estimate for Report 1, and I believe that is everything that I wanted to cover. Thank you.